Cardinal Tumi was a man who just walked straight and trampled on anything that was not truth. And that is why, whether it was Ahijo or Paul Biya, his outlook was
you mean to tell me that it was an adamant of the biblical expression that speak the truth and the truth shall set you free?
Cardinal Tumi spoke the truth and he was ready to die for it. When he came back from Rome, after being created a cardinal, he was given a car by the state. He did not refuse it. So he sold it and used the money for his pastoral work. To show you that he didn't say no to the state. He was not anti-state. He came to me and said, Bishop, can you bless me? So he went on his knees and I blessed him. And theologically, if the devil kneels down in front of me, I'll bless him. Because kneeling down means he totally submits.
Prime Minister Joseph John Gote is in Congo Brazzaville for the swearing-in of the President-elect Denis Sassou Nguesso as personal representative of President Paul Biya for the investiture billed for tomorrow, Friday. Youth in the West region fully explore their potential. The innate talents are exhibited as they dare innovate and seek the assistance of the state for increased production. Cameroonian volleyball international Laetitia MOMA leads her team to become the 2021 champions of women's volleyball in France. The title is grabbed after their 3-1 win against Béziers. Those were the headlines of the 7:30 news. Thanks for joining us.
I urge you once again to put on your face masks, to wash your hands regularly, and to consult a physician or any other health personnel if you notice any symptoms. This is the only way to save lives and to curb the spread of the virus.
Welcome back. On the esteemed instructions of the head of state, His Excellency Paul Biya, the Prime Minister, head of government, Chief Dr. Joseph John Gote, shall represent the President of the Republic at the investiture ceremony of the President-elect, Denis Sassou Nguesso, scheduled for Friday, the 16th of April, 2021, in Brazzaville, Republic of Congo. And the Prime Minister, head of government, Joseph John Gote, is already in Congo Brazzaville for the investiture of the Congolese President-elect Denis Sassou Nguesso tomorrow. The personal representative of the head of state, Paul Biya, landed at the Maya International Airport late this afternoon aboard a special Cameco flight. Christian Chair Atam is on special assignment to Brazzaville and says the head of government was received by the Congolese Minister of External Relations, Jean-Claude Ngakosa.
It was under cloudy skies and strong winds sweeping across the Maya International Airport that the special Cameco flight carrying Prime Minister Joseph John Gote landed in the Congolese capital Brazzaville a little after 4 p.m. Prime Minister Joseph John Gote was received at the VIP section of the airport by the Congolese Minister of External Relations, Jean-Claude Ngakosa, in the presence of Cameroon's ambassador to Congo, Lazare Mpwel Mbala. A brief exchange followed between Prime Minister Joseph John Gote and the Congolese Minister of External Relations before the Prime Minister left for his hotel. Outside the airport, a group of Cameroonians resident in Congo celebrated the arrival of the personal representative of the head of state to Brazzaville, Congo. Prime Minister Joseph John Gote is in Congo as personal representative of President Paul Biya at the swearing-in ceremony of Congolese President-elect Denis Sassou Nguesso, scheduled for 11 a.m. Friday at the Libreville Conference Center. The event is expected to pull high-caliber guests from Africa and beyond.
Cameroon and Congo-Brazzaville enjoy fruitful cooperation based on mutual respect and understanding. A visible sign of their strong ties is the Sangmelima-Weso transporter project, which is near completion. The road construction project has been instrumental for the improvement of trade activities for both countries, financed with the collaboration of development partners. Clarice Areitakang reports on the progress of the works.
It is part of the Brazzaville-Yaoundé corridor linking Cameroon to Congo by road, an ambitious infrastructural project to cover the Sangmelima-Djoum-Weso transborder stretch in bitumen. March 6, 2020 marked the start of a dream come true after close to a decade of works. The road project has propelled cooperation between Cameroon and Congo to new heights.
Nous sommes ici à la frontière. Nous voyons la route.
We are here at the border and we see the road going to Sangmelima. Not too long from now, we will have a road linking the port of Pont-Noir to the Douala seaport.
À l'autre grand port du Cameroun à Douala, Brazzaville.
Brazzaville, Weso, Sangmelima and Douala. At that moment, it will be mission accomplished.
Mais à ce moment-là, ce sera mission accomplie.
It was set to stimulate growth through trade and improve the living conditions of the destitute and vulnerable populations along both sides of the border. Out of the 5 lots on the Cameroonian side, the 38-kilometer Bikula-Djoum section has been responsible for the slow pace of works and measures taken to address the issues raised. Meanwhile, the Sangmelima, Mekok, Bikula, Djoum, Mintom Lele, and Tambalam sections have been temporarily commissioned.
In other news, the presidential assistance to refugees of the Minawawo camp in the far north who have voluntarily returned to Borno State in Nigeria continues to be applauded. The spokesperson of the state's governor, Lawan Abba Wakilbe, expressed the gratitude of the nation after the reception of food items and basic needs destined for the 6th contingent of refugees. Ayok John Ashu reports that so far, over 4,000 Nigerian refugees have willingly returned home from the camp.
The solemnity of the voluntary departure of Nigerian refugees after a 7-year sojourn at the Minawawo camp was given by the Minister of Territorial Administration, Paul Atanganji, on the 8th of March 2021 in the presence of officials of the UN Refugee Agency and the Governor of Borno State of Nigeria. On the occasion, the member of government was also bearer of a huge relief package from President Paul Biya to the refugees. This 6th contingent of 750 also benefited from the head of state's largesse under the supervision of the governor of the far north region.
The head of state decided to accompany them and also to hand over material to enable them to carry out their daily basis works in their country.
Half of the happy recipients of truckloads of household utensils and food items at the border locality of Banki, authorities of Borno State showered praises and gratitude to President Paul Biya and spouse for the love and care.
All these refugees will now not go into a tent or a camp, but their house of permanent residence.
Stocks of similar relief assistance are on standby for the last contingent expected to leave in the days ahead.
More than 2.7 million people in Cameroon are facing food insecurity due to political and social crisis. The government declaration on harmonized results of analysis on the identification of high-risk zones for food insecurity in Cameroon was unveiled today by the Minister of Agriculture and Rural Development, Gabriel Mbairobe. The high levels of agri-pastoral production have also been checked to spring up the famine in the 10 regions. Constantine Baum reports.
The food security situation in the country is reported to be globally satisfactory, without any famine in the 10 regions of Cameroon, thanks to high levels of agro-pastoral productions, a key outcome of this session.
The nutrition situation of household is acceptable given to the variety of food supplies. The situation is less favorable in the northwest and southwest regions, and in the far north, littoral and west region.
Analysis revealed that some 2.7 million people in Cameroon are facing the pressure of food insecurity.
About 2.7 million people are living in food and nutrition insecurity. No division is presently in an emergency or famine phase. During the project period from June to August 2021, the projected food and nutrition situation will be satisfactory in 31 divisions, and 17 will be stressed with a relatively acceptable food situation.
Government is committed to a food and nutrition crisis prevention with support from technical partners through the use of innovative agricultural practices, implementing resilient, enhancing actions for support for crop and animal production.
In one of our headline stories, youth in the West region have been daring and inventive to create wealth and to transform their society. The most recent exploit is that of a Form 4 student, Vidéo, who constructed the prototype aircraft in Bafoussam. Calvin Nembo has been trailing some of these intuitive young persons to know their drive. Here's his report.
The wind of entrepreneurship is blowing across the entire West region. Vidéo, a Form 4 student, aged 17, who has never received any formal education in aeronautics, succeeded to construct a prototype aircraft.
I don't want to end up building something that is small like this, because this like this cannot help people. Because I want to build something that can take people to the various countries.
With the advent of the coronavirus pandemic, 25-year-old Stephen Mwafo Fogeng, a graduate of Université de Montagne in Bangante, and his team built low-cost respiratory ventilator breathing machines. Cedric Seaman, who stopped school in Class 6, constructed the first ever homemade vehicle solely designed and assembled in Cameroon, called SM237. It went viral on different social media platforms. Some have built egg incubators, neonatal incubators, drink dispensers, anti-COVID-19 sanitizing tunnels. The list is endless. A true indication that most youth in Cameroon have ingenious ideas and adequate financial and technical support. Everything being equal might just be the right solution to efficiently balance the unemployment equation.
And a handful of instinctive youth in the West region have been able to impress with their inventions thanks to the aid of the state. They hope for a multi-dimensional support which will provide technical and financial accompaniment for large-scale production. Hanan Jung presents some government endeavors that favor youth in the region.
One of the fundamental regalian duties of the state is to promote innovation, particularly amongst youths. The Ministry of Youth Affairs and Civic Education is the government arm that pilots this vision.
We have in all the community, all the subdivision, our structure calling Multipurpose Youth Employment Center. And after this education, we now pass through the training. We train them to know more about their idea and to know how to write a project. And now, after writing the project, we now pass to the next step, who will be the selection of the project. And after selection, the good project should be financed.
In the West region, many are the youths that have and are still benefiting from such support.
Above 500 youths that we already financed in West. And I know that there are many projects who are still waiting to be financed.
This, in addition to the primordial role of the National Employment Fund in helping innovative youths to be gainfully employed.
And now on to education. End of year and official examinations for the 2020-2021 session are scheduled for the month of May, and school authorities are resolute on completing these syllabus. In the majority of schools, the last 4 weeks of the ongoing third term will be used to organize catch-up classes and revision programs. Beatrice Gum reports on the efforts made amidst the COVID-19 challenge.
Unlike in the past, the school year started in October instead of September, a month late, meaning it will take schools less time to cover their programs in examination classes and especially in a two-shift system.
We are at exactly 80% of coverage of program in examination classes. After the first semester, we realized that if we continue to operate two-shift systems for examination classes, we will end up covering only 65%. So we adjusted our timetable. Examination classes now operate full-time.
But as the examination season draws closer, the pressure is mounting. The last 4 weeks are decisive.
During the Easter break, The examination class, they continued under the instructions of the Minister of Secondary Education.
Online learning, Saturday classes and other pedagogic methods of teaching and learning are now an option to consider.
We give lessons to students 48 hours before and teachers only come in to explain. We are also into e-learning.
But the ultimate remains, pedagogues say, training students and pupils ready for the upcoming sessions of official exams.
In higher education, students of the African Institute of Computer Sciences have had their creative minds sparked off to develop applications that favor telemedicine. At a conference on medical informatics led by Professor Georges Bedian, they were urged to use telecommunications technology to provide and to enhance healthcare services. Yoti Kalelisonga reports on the training attended by the resident representative of the Institute, Armand-Claude Abanda.
Remote mentoring and real-time interactive services to enhance Cameroon's health system. Medical informatics, that is the intersection of information science, computer science and healthcare, is the topic of discussion at this conference.
Telemedicine is useful in our context because you can use it to do teleconsultation, where you can see the patient at a distance remotely to provide some healthcare. You can use it also for contact tracing in order to follow the patient who will be in contact with a patient COVID-19.
This exchange streamed live on Facebook for the students of EIE Cameroon who are ICT engineers in the making is to trigger their creativity.
The goal for us was to sensitize our students to spark up their creativity and become interested in medical informatics. With the COVID-19 pandemic, our geniuses at EIE have become more innovative and can even do more. They are geniuses in developing apps that can solve problems in our country and the world.
The conference, the students say, has encouraged them to continue in their ICT endeavors to promote telemedicine and further improve on the country's healthcare.
Still on healthcare, the vaccination campaign against the coronavirus has begun in 3 immunization centers in the economic capital, Douala. The Sinopharm COVID-19 vaccine was administered to administrative and health officials under the supervision of the Minister of Public Health. Cynthia Adim reports that some members of the public equally took the shots voluntarily.
At the Douala Gynecobstetric and Pediatric Hospital, one of the COVID-19 vaccination centers in Douala, the vaccination process was explained to the Minister of Public Health, Manauda Malashi, before the exercise commenced. The senior divisional officer for the Vuri was the first person to be administered the Sinopharm vaccine.
I've received the vaccine and I think I'm immunized against the virus. The vaccine is assuring and we encourage others to get vaccinated.
It was the same exercise at the Douala Lakentini Hospital, another vaccination center.
As head of the hospital, I also decided to take the vaccine because I want to show an example to my staff.
While urging inhabitants not to lose guard in the observation of outlined barrier measures, the Minister of Public Health said that health officials in the front line against the pandemic and aged persons in the region will be given priority in the administration of the vaccine.
Despite our efforts, COVID-19 plunged many families into mourning and seriously hampered the functioning of our economy and society.
Many Cameroonians are now eager to be administered the AstraZeneca COVID-19 vaccine that is due to arrive the country on April 17. With the inoculation of the Sinopharm doses, many begin to see the necessity to boost their immunity against the deadly virus. Baldwin Sama and Dr. Andrea Sinjo are the Public Health Emergency Center and they talk on the priority targets. Hello, Baldwin.
Good evening to you, Esther Kima. Many persons have shown interest to be administered the Sinopharm vaccine that is already available. But at times they ask themselves questions as to who are those who have priority to be administered this vaccine. Let us find out from our guest tonight, Dr. Andreas Njo, an epidemiologist. Who are those who have for priority? Good evening to you, Doctor.
Good evening, Baldwin.
Why is priority as far as administering the Sinopharm vaccine in Cameroon is concerned? Who are those principally concerned?
Yeah, the first thing to note about COVID vaccine is the fact that some persons are more exposed or at a higher risk of developing severe form of the disease. And at this moment, the Sinopharm vaccine will be administered basically to health workers, because those are those who are more exposed to contracting the disease within their workplaces.
How did you come about with the choice, this selection?
Yeah, I think the choice is evident. Health workers, they are attending to patients. These patients could be persons, most of the time, they could be persons that are infected with COVID-19. And so they are more likely to develop the disease. And already what is sure is that there are many health workers who have been infected in the course of time from the national statistics. So it's evident that they need special attention. So protecting them is very important. But that notwithstanding, it's worth noting that other groups like persons with comorbidities and the elderly 50 and above have also been considered, but hopefully they are going to be rolled in the next batch of vaccination.
Thank you so much, Dr. Njo Andreas, for being our guest this evening. We just have to be patient. The priority for now is for health workers, persons with comorbidities, and persons above 50. As the days, weeks, or months unfold, more and more of us will be concerned with being administered the Sinopharm vaccine. Back to you, Esther Kima.
Thanks very much, Borden Sama. And with the arrival of the AstraZeneca COVID-19 vaccine in 2 days, many more Cameroonians will definitely get vaccinated. In development news, the rate of execution of projects under the debt relief program C2D in the city of Beto has been applauded by municipal authorities. The city mayor, Jean-Marie Dimbele Sodea, made the positive appraisal during an inspection of some projects in the area. Mokom Robert Achu has the details.
Accompanied by the coordinator of the C2D development project, Alain Dogwa, and technical staff members from the council, the mayor of the Beto City Council, Dimbele Jean-Marie Sodea, among other sites, visited the ongoing construction work of the Mokolo 4 Denye Poto Modern Market, followed by the construction work of the garden opposite the Beto Court that will at the end have a modern restaurant, sports playgrounds, and more. The mayor then went through the recently tarred route of the C2D project, where solar lamps are being installed, at the end of which close to 500 of them will be installed. The visit took the mayor through the finishing work of the Pioneer Market in Betua and ended at the construction work at the gardens at the Enia roundabout, after that of the Betua Presidential Palace roundabout.
I am very impressed. I'm satisfied with the work that I have seen on the field. I want to thank the head of state for his favor including Betua on the CDD program.
At each stop, the mayor asked questions and gave instructions so that by the end of these development projects, Betua will be an attractive metropolis worthy of the name.
Still on council news, the management and councillors of Ayos have been urged to employ frank collaboration to increase the collection of revenue and the consolidation of development projects. This was at the 2020 Administrative and Management Accounts session chaired by the Mayor, Paul Ndongo Biko. Prince Mukela Aduma has the details.
Democracy in decentralization. The two accounts were voted following heated debates to guide the Ayos Council towards set goals.
We have given directives concerning the 2021 budget.
The council that raised its own bar in meeting the socio-economic aspirations of the populations saw its mayor, Paul Ndongo Biko, quizzed on lapses such as low revenue collection.
The new plan consists to put some young people around the market, around those who build the house, for that we can have more resources. The major projects we realized in 2020 were to provide water to all the population. We had to fight against the corona disease pandemic.
The senior divisional officer for the Nyong and Fomo, Enes Ebele, has appreciated the interest shown by councillors, stating that last year's achievements can only be consolidated through a collective endeavor and peace.
In In this advertorial, 7 persons have been apprehended for the illegal consumption of water supplied by the water utility company CamWater. The fighting brigade against fraud of the company has been on a fierce campaign to track down the illicit connections. Irene Manti Ayonge tells us more.
Water distribution in the city of Yaoundé has been witnessing some illegal water connections lately. In neighborhoods such as Otza, Mbon and Ladatu in the Kola-Famba subdivision, a good number of illegal water connections were unmasked by the CamWater Fighting Brigade against fraud. These could be seen in homes, building construction sites and car wash points. A team of CamWater officials led by the regional director, Yaoundé Agglomeration, Mr. Joseph Bienvenu Yafa, were on the field to assess the situation and dismantle fraudulent water connections.
Clients are really, it would appear the fraudulent is in the blood of most people in Cameroon. All our clients, you have a lot of fraud, and this is to stop it. We'll try to see if we can get 50%. We'll stop 50%. If we give 50% reduction of fraud, we're going to have a lot of money. What we're trying to do now is we're going to make sure that this exercise is done almost every month. It's going to take us a lot of money, but we're going to have a lot of reward as well. Because normally, if you let go, clients will say you're just barking and we would are biting. But now we are assuring the population, or assuring members, our colleagues, that this exercise has to continue. Those who are not, we just came out from an area there where a majority, like the whole area has been connected, but they are not in our system. So those who are in our system have no water, but those who are not in our system have water. So there's a contradiction. So we're going to stop that right now.
It should be recalled that hydraulic energy fraud is punishable by law. CamWater therefore advises its clients to follow the right procedure by going to any of their agencies and request for water connection and a meter for water supply in their homes and business sites. CamWater reiterates that they have set up an anti-fraud brigade to track fraudulent consumers of hydraulic energy.
And on to another advertorial, a new product has been launched by the Pan-African Bank, EcoBank, to ease credit to women. It is dubbed Elevate and targets women who are mostly engaged in petty businesses and in need of soft loans to improve their ventures. Kekishi Lawrence has details of the launch in Douala.
EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank, supports women's entrepreneurship and officially launches its program named Elevate to empower women entrepreneurs and women-focused businesses with the financial and value-added solutions. On March 30, 2021, in Douala, this innovative program of EcoBank is presented to several women entrepreneurs and business owners by the Managing Director of EcoBank Cameroon.
You have to either be a shareholder of a women-based company. You have to either be a director or a managing director of a company that has 30% or more of women. You have to either be a company that has on the board more than 30% of women, or a business that does products that are focused on women.
1 in 4 of adult women start or manage a business, making Africa one of the regions with the highest number of female entrepreneurs. However, women have not enjoyed equal access to finance, and it is estimated that women-owned small and medium-sized enterprises face a $42 billion financing gap, making lack of access to financing a common constraint to their business growth. The Elevate program was especially designed by EcoBank to meet the needs of women entrepreneurs through the provision of comprehensive, customized and tailor-made solutions which include favorable lending rates, smart cash management enablement, and a suite of value-added services such as leadership training, mentoring, and networking opportunities. The Minister of Women's Empowerment was represented at the event by Madame Neba Ndosiri Bridget. EcoBank also told their guests that the government policy on women's empowerment has been given sufficient consideration in the project.
The government's wider program for women development is key for us in all the 33 countries in which we operate. As you know, we are spread out across Africa. We have the largest footprint, and we cannot interact in those communities without government support.
The forum was rich in the discussions that ensued, particularly with the comments of Madame Bala, who is heading the Association of Bayam Selams in Cameroon.
As announced in one of our top stories, Cameroon's international volleyball player, Laetitia MOMA, has driven her team, Morehouse Volleyball Club, to become title holders of the 2021 Women's Volleyball Championship in France. They urged their contenders, Béziers, 3-1 last weekend. Borden Sama reports on the key role she played in the victory.
They needed just a victory to win the championship. Mulhouse Volleyball, Laetitia MOMA's first division volleyball club in France, traveled to impose a 3-1 victory against Béziers. A victory that puts them 11 points clear of their immediate followers, given that they cannot be caught up during the current championship after the playoffs were suspended. This is the club's second victory recently, as Laetitia MOMA has been and remains a great asset for her club, making use of her different spikes and serves to help secure victories.
We are happy with our victory. It was difficult due to the health crisis and the absence of the public. Our victory was one of our championship objectives.
Crowned best player of the Women's Volleyball Championship in France last year, Laetitia MOMA is about winning same for the third time, and her individual performances, coupled with her incredible talents, confirm her zeal to continue working hard. Her strength, her techniques, and her consistency are some of her strong points put at the service of Mulhouse. Her victory with her club comes as a moral booster as she prepares to join her teammates, prepare for the upcoming African Women's Volleyball Championship in September this year.
And still in sports, the sum of 6.3 billion CFA francs has been made available to McGill Construction to pursue construction works at the Olembe Sports Complex. The Minister of Sports and Physical Education, Professor Narcisse Molekombi, disclosed the figure today during a visit to the structure. Borden Sama reports that some tax exonerations have also been granted to the company.
He came to the Olembe Sports Complex 1 week after a similar visit. This time, Sports and Physical Education Minister Professor Narcisse Molekombi came to encourage workers busy with finishing touches at the intended commercial center and hotel in this complex. Visibly impressed he was with work progress notice as he expressed the wish to see work continue uninterrupted. The stadium that is almost ready remains a beauty to the eyes of many as the sports boss hopes to have work advanced before the AFCON 2021 draws on June 25. During a brief working session with McGill and subcontractors, emphasis was laid on the completion of the sections of the stadium directly concerned with the 2021 Africa Cup of Nations. The sum of 6.3 billion has been made available for McGill and her subcontractors to settle debts and continue with work left undone. Representatives of these subcontractors each explained what they have done and what is left to be done in the different sections of the stadium, as the Ministry of Finance has granted some tax and customs exonerations to McGill, enabling her to progress with work. Sports and Physical Education Minister called on McGill to complete work on the athletics track, the walls and the ceiling so as for the stadium to be ready before the recommended deadline of November 15, 2021.
And that will be all for this edition of the news, in which you mainly heard that Prime Minister Joseph John Gute is in Congo-Brazzaville for the swearing-in of Congolese President-elect Denis Sassou Nguesso as personal representative of the head of state, President Paul Biya, for the investiture billed for tomorrow, Friday. More news comes up at 8:30 p.m., but at 9:10 p.m. today, we invite you to watch the exclusive interview granted by CRTV to the Archbishop of Bamenda, Andrew Kea. He will be on CRTV News Channel 306. Is interviewed by Charles Ebune. Tomorrow you'll be in the company of Ben and Bumagana. Have a COVID-19 free weekend. Thanks for watching. Good
night. I urge you once again to put on your face masks, to wash your hands regularly, and to consult a physician or any other health personnel if you notice any symptoms. This is the only way to save lives and to curb the spread of the virus.
CRTV News, ici, toute l'info.